Next News. Breaking news.
Rand Paul demanded a Fort Knox audit after Treasury sat on 147.3 million ounces. Let that sink in. The U.S. Mint claims nearly $1 trillion in gold, and Washington still expects you to accept it on faith. Trump cracked this door open first, and now we hit the part the secrecy cartel never wanted touched. 147.3 million ounces, over 950 billion, and no independent audit in 5 decades. That number stopped me cold because Treasury bureaucrats will hammer you over a missing receipt. But Scott Bessent's crowd wants America to nod along about the nation's gold reserve without actually any proof. Rand Paul put it in writing to Bessent back on February 19th of 2025. Audit it, inspect it, show it. Why do the gatekeepers stall? Because once Trump asked if the gold isn't there, we'll be very upset. This stopped being trivia and turned into a transparency war. Now, Rand Paul had to demand an audit of Fort Knox because Washington keeps treating hard assets like classified bedtime stories, and that's exactly why I want something real outside their digital maze. Everybody cheers AI and cloud banking, but Brian, put up the Noble Gold slide here, if you wouldn't mind. There we go. Everybody cheers AI and cloud banking, but what happens when this system gets hacked, frozen, or erased by code? Noble Gold Investments helps you own physical gold and silver that doesn't live on a server and can't be frozen by a keystroke and can't be erased by code. Get a coin you can hold or a bar you can stack, shipped right to your door, or place it in a tax-advantaged retirement account. Go to nextnewsgold.com. Just mention my name and get a free 10-ounce U.S. independent silver bar when you open a new qualified account. Paper promises are not proof. Now, Steve Mnuchin walked into Fort Knox in 2017, posed and left. No audit. And that photo op was the tell. You and I are supposed to clap because the Treasury Secretary glanced at a few bars. Come on. I'm going to pull up the tweets because Rand Paul and Elon Musk blew straight through the staged nonsense. In February of 2025, Trump repeatedly vowed to audit Fort Knox. He made statements on Air Force One during speeches. Elon Musk called for a live stream, and by March, both men went silent. The narrative was shut down at the highest level with no follow-up.
We're going to open up the doors. I'm going to see if we have gold there. We want to find out, did anybody steal the gold in Fort Knox? Don't be totally surprised. We opened the door. We'll say, there's nothing here. They stole this too. We're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there, because maybe somebody stole the gold.
We're going to Fort Knox. So Trump said he'd open the door and find out if America's gold was really there. Now look at the number the government wants everyone to trust. 147.3 million ounces, nearly $1 trillion with no independent proof in over 50 years. The U.S. Mint claims Fort Knox holds 147.3 million ounces of gold worth over 950 billion. That figure is unverifiable. No independent audit has confirmed it in over 5 decades. The number exists on paper, not provable in physical form. So the paper claim is massive, but the proof is missing, and that's why Elon Musk stepped in next, calling for a Fort Knox live stream before that push suddenly went quiet. It happened on April 6th. Musk proposed live streaming a Fort Knox audit on Fox Business. It was bold, and then he went dark. No tweets, no interviews, and silence deliberate. Musk doesn't fear controversy, but he knows Fort Knox is surrounded by powerful gatekeepers.
Knox. Oh, Fort Knox. Oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Well, that's up to the president, of course. But I think it would be, I think it would be awesome to live stream Fort Knox. You know, I mean, that would be really fun. And after all, it is actually the gold of the American people. So the American people should, it seems to me, have a right to see their gold. You know, hopefully it looks really cool. You know, you open the doors, like, is it there? Like, is that really gold? Let's check. You know, so maybe it'll be really interesting. I'm all for it. The president says he's interested in doing it, so hopefully that happens.
Hopefully that will happen. So Musk said the American people have a right to see their gold. And then the trail went cold. That wasn't the first half measure either. Steve Mnuchin got inside Fort Knox, but what he did there raised even more questions. He visited Fort Knox in 2017, the first Treasury Secretary in nearly 70 years to do so. But he didn't conduct an audit. He saw a few bars, posed for some photos, and left. The visit was staged to calm suspicion and not resolve it. So the trip looked more like a photo op than real oversight, and now the message from Trump is shifting with fresh comments that sound very different from the original audit push. Trump says he's confident the gold at Fort Knox is still there after previously calling for a massive audit.
What happened to the audit of Fort Knox?
Which one are you talking about?
There was, I think when you first got into office, you and Elon Musk talked about auditing
Well,
the
we
gold
wanted
to make
to go
sure it's
knock
there.
on the door, Fort Knox, very thick door, and to see whether or not we have any gold in there, because we'll take a look at it. It's a very interesting question, yeah. We played with that. I wonder if they left the gold in Fort Knox, because they steal a lot.
No need to really do that, though?
Well, I don't know. I think it's... I do want to go to Fort Knox sometime. I want to see if the gold is there, which I'm sure it will be.
You know, President Trump loves his gold, and I'm sure he'd love to see what it looks like inside. So he went from demanding answers to saying he's sure it's there. But one senator from Kentucky wasn't ready to let the swamp close the book. Rand Paul put his audit demand in writing. In case you missed it, I'm requesting to audit the gold at Fort Knox. He posted this letter on February 19th, 2015 to the Treasury Secretary. Congratulations on your confirmation. Now let's open the vault. So Paul demanding access, testing, and real inspection. But the fight didn't start yesterday. Ron Paul, his father, sounded the alarm years ago about why Washington never wanted a true audit.
Federal Reserve. Well, Fort Knox, okay. No, we don't know. And there's a very good chance it's not there or that it's been pledged. I tried hard to get an audit of the Fed as well as the gold, and they're not about to do it. When I was on the Gold Commission in the early 1980s, we had 17 members of the board and 15 voted against auditing the gold. Now, I suspect the gold is not there. The Germans decided we're just supposed to hold gold for foreign governments. The Germans asked for their gold and they didn't get it. Oh, in 5 or 7 years we might have it for you. But even if you walk into Fort Knox and see the gold, what does that prove? It might be pledged. It might be loaned out. So, no, once again, you cannot believe the government on what they tell you about the gold. That's why gold should be in the hands of the people. So you should be buying gold and holding the gold. The more you have, the merrier it is. And when the Thai crisis comes, the better. But no, it's going to be very difficult. I would say that, well, I don't know absolutely what happens. I could conceive of it being pledged and loaned out. And they always figure, well, we'll take care of that later on. But no, nobody has that answer. But I think the fact that they refuse to allow an audit means that there's some difficulty there.
So Ron Paul warned that if the government refuses an audit, there is a reason. Then came Trump's last hard warning on Fort Knox. If the gold wasn't there, America would be very upset.
We're going to go into Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there.
Are they going to
You know that? We're going to go into Fort Knox. Do you know about that?
Sir,
That was a bad bump.
are they going to eliminate more national security positions, civilians there?
We'll see what happens. But one of the things we do want to look, I mean, we hope everything's fine with Fort Knox, but we're going to go to Fort Knox, the fabled Fort Knox, to make sure the gold is there.
Where would the gold have gone?
If the gold isn't there, we're going to be very upset.
We'll be very upset after that warning. Trump went silent. Now Treasury Secretary Bessent says his team checked Fort Knox and every ounce is present and accounted for. Trump Daily Post dropping this banger today. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent makes a big announcement that Fort Knox has been audited by his team and all gold is present and accounted for.
Wasn't exactly an even trade, but for President Trump, it was pretty even.
He usually comes out on top.
Not usually, always.
Always. What are we looking at here? These look exquisite.
Yeah, so these are the displays of our currency over the years. Some of it, like we used to have silver certificates. We used to be backed by silver, sometimes gold. And then in the 70s, we just went to what was called fiat currency, where you didn't have to keep gold or silver in the vault. If any of these are still outstanding, though, the silver or gold for them is the at Fort Knox, waiting for them to be claimed if so needed.
Have you visited Fort Knox?
I haven't. People on my staff has. We're going to the Treasurer's office. The Treasurer has been to Fort Knox, and I am happy to say all gold is present and accounted for. The U.S. has the largest pile of gold in the world, over $1 trillion at current market value.
And we're getting more gold from Venezuela.
The American people should have a right to see their gold. Elon Musk said exactly that. That line cuts right through the whole scam. Trump pushed to open the doors. Musk backed a live stream. Rand Paul formally demanded an audit and in-person inspection. And what did the Treasury bureaucracy fire back with? Silence, fog, and then Scott Bessent saying his team found all gold is present and accounted for. Hold on. Your team, your staff, your insiders? That's not an audit the country can trust. Fort Knox has not had a formal audit since 1974, and these people think that one clean sentence from the establishment erases 50-plus years of secrecy. No. If the bars are there, weigh them, test them, count them, and show us if Washington refuses, Washington convicts itself. So Scott Bessent should release a full independent Fort Knox audit now. Not another line. Okay, that is the demand. Not next month, not after another photo op. Now, Rand Paul already put the pressure on. Trump forced this forbidden subject back into the bloodstream, and Musk said the part every normal American understands, that people have a right to see their gold. So let's act like it. We should demand chain of custody records, serial verification, assay testing, full inventory review, and cameras in the room. Bright lights, no sacred vault mythology, no Treasury bedtime story. And I want you to notice the contrast here. The same government that tracks your income, your transfers, your purchases, and your taxes suddenly gets shy when the question hits its own reserve. That arrogance burns me up because it tells you exactly how the secrecy cartel operates. Trust us. Shut up. Move along. No. Keep the story alive. Push it. Share it. Force the audit into the open until Washington either proves the gold is there or gets caught hiding the truth in plain sight. And what's not in plain sight is the news you've asked for. Yes, I've read your comments. I know you're not getting notifications. I have seen your frustration. And that's why I set up this number, 844-840-4963. Thousands and thousands of patriots have already texted the words raw feed to that number. I want you to do it right now so that you can get a direct text message from me to your phone once a night, and I will send you the link to the news we've produced for the day so you can get caught up on everything that YouTube refuses to show you.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I want you to see this. Truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.